It is easy, isn't it?
Yes.
And we're on.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. Or is it ABC 1, 2, 3?
I think we had it backwards.
Yeah,
Actually, we haven't. We logically have it backwards.
Yeah, there's a algorithm to that song.
Yeah, there is. Actually, there's an algorithm to all music.
Yes.
Each like, in terms of like the verse and its structure. I'm not big on music theory. It's very complicated.
Yeah. Oh, I don't see how people can, we both listen to EDM music.
Yeah.
Like trying to sit there and then next thing you got like 16 different variations of all these beats going all at the same time. And then you're blending them all together and layered. Yeah. I appreciate it, but I have no fucking idea.
If I do that though in the kitchen with like food, it tastes terrible. There's like there's no music theory to my cooking.
No, there's no, I think your cooking's badass though. You're like you're gonna have the TARTLE vegan cookbook coming out.
We should do that. Yeah. The data cookbook.
The data cookbook.
Wait a minute, I think we're onto something.
Wouldn't that be funny if that got more famous than TARTLE?
The system itself. Oh, an idiot.
Oh, that's funny. So you got some kombucha kick in there, Alex. Some berry action.
I always drink the booch when I'm over here with you.
I know.
Me, and then I want to burp on the mic.
That's why
I can't stop drinking it. So I'm always like turning away, like holding it back.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I drink 2 of those a day, but over right near us, we have a kombucha on tap.
Oh, it's really nice.
And that's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's if we think about it, me drinking that booch has a direct effect. And I continually,
here we go.
There's a continual cause but I do it. And I don't think about the cause that much. I just know what the effect is, but I'm just going to keep, just chugging it back. It's delicious. Matter of fact, I'm going to have another sip right now before I get into my next thought.
And there's going to be an effect.
And there's an immediate effervescent effect.
Yeah. Or it could be delayed.
It could be delayed.
Yes.
It may not be instant.
No. And I think that's where we get into expecting something
instantly, right?
When we have to allow the data to marinate.
Yeah,
because we're talking cooking too. I'm trying to go back and forth from all
vegetables.
this.
That's funny because we topic this episode as using data logically. People are like, well, that's obvious. With data, you look at it and you analyze it and it gives you an answer. Well, you know this very well, that if we're looking at, say, for instance, machine learning,
right,
or AI, it's at the most rudimentary level of observing data. It's not actually taking the causes out of it. It's just looking at the effects.
Right.
So it's like taking the data, looking at the effect, and then assuming historically that something was the cause. And that sort of analysis is but illogical.
Yes. Because
it forces you to be, backward looking without knowing what the true effervescent cause was that led to this output. So when we're talking about using the data logically, the very first thing that would, preclude all this is understanding that logic is something that has direct sequence of cause and effect. But we've geared our entire technological evolution or revolution or whatever you want to call it, advancement, on looking at outcomes, analyzing the outcomes, and guessing on the effects. Well, and then they say, oh, this is the most logical. Well, how can you say that's the most logical outcome? You don't even know what caused it.
Yeah, and humans are illogical.
And we're naturally illogical because we don't pay very much attention to cause and effect in itself. If you and I look to observe nature or anything we're doing, even this podcast, us initiating the conversation is the cause.
Right.
The effect is something digitally recorded that can be shared. People can listen to it and then take action upon it. That's a nice system of cause and effect. It's quite linear, right? Like these are the steps, and I can go forward to look where that's going to end up, and I can actually go back. It's not to say that going forward and saying some miracle is going to happen. It's like, no, something improbable could happen, but that improbability is still directly connected with that initial cause. So when we're looking at data, we need to gear our mindsets of using data logically to say that let's look at the causes. Let's look at the things that are driving that data. Let's look at the data drivers rather than say, let's look at the data and assume our drivers. I don't want to get in a car, a cab, and assume that someone's driving it. I want to know for a fact that there's someone behind the wheel guiding me safely where I need to go. Right. Is that a good metaphor for that?
No, I think because when you look at, especially when you're looking at something that you're putting your life or your history in.
Much history.
Yeah. It is the same as because we're always looking at lagging, and we've talked about this before. We're always looking at lagging data, and then we're saying we're not taking into account that the single mom left her computer on and the stove is boiling. And so she ran. And so that YouTube ad is just going. Correct. And we think that mom actually watched it. Oh my God,
look how much time she's putting into this.
Yes, when she's a baby's just woke up from her nap screaming and the stove is going off.
And so we're only looking at the effects. You know, funny, I was cooking rice today and the same thing happened. I was on the computer. I went to open up some video for net. See, look, I'm like burping again, drinking this stuff. Open up some video to watch something, and the ad starts playing. And then I look over my left and I realize I had the rice. It boiled all the water out of it.
Oh no!
And then this thing's going through ads, and I'm already over here in the kitchen. I'm paying attention to what's going on. Now, all the algorithms, everything we have set up, all the machine learning that even YouTube, Google uses, what have you, they're going to look at that and like, look at the effect of this. Mm-hmm. Look at this. Look at this outlier. What's going on here? This is interesting. Maybe somebody does want to look at an ad this long. Why don't we test some of our resources, put in this direction? But what they're missing is there's this huge imbalance that, again, we're going to analyze the lagging stuff. We're going to analyze the effects, but have absolutely zero insight into the cause. So if we're going to use data effectively, we should be acquiring proactive causal data. We shouldn't be just worried about aggregating as much historical stuff as possible. No, let's worry about aggregating the causes proactively so that we can then elevate our machine learning, our understanding, our logical thought processes, and see what the effects are going to be in the short term and deep in the long term. Because they're logically defined and bound by anything else in nature, right, in physics, that there is a direct outcome.
There's always a direct outcome. It reminds me of, and we've all heard this story before, but especially when it looks at the problems with that we have machine learning and stuff going on now, is the owl and the rat. You know, the owl knows that at nighttime it hears a squeak, it looks and knows about how fast the rat's going to run. It can catch the rat,
sure,
but it's never asking why is the rat running at night or where did the rat come from.
Correct.
You know, it's not looking at the cause of the effect. It's just analyzing the effect, and it's getting to an outcome, but that outcome could be how great is the owl at hunting? Is it a 7 when it could be a 9?
Yeah, it's an inefficient outcome.
Yes, exactly. And I hope that
no, that's excellent, because if the owl knew the rat hole, that's what rats come out of. They come out of rat holes. If they knew where that was, he could just perch on top, like put his little talon down, just pick it up.
Yeah, because
he wouldn't even have to look.
With rats, it'd be unlimited.
What happens is
he would feed himself for a lifetime.
when we use logic properly, right? If we use data logically, and we understand that cause and effect, and know what we should be gearing ourselves towards, we can become just magnitudes more efficient.
Yes,
in how we do everything. Right now, we think we're so efficient. Like, look at us analyze this.
But look how inefficient we are, because we're flying around, listening, waiting for that rat to come, exerting so much energy. And we got a rat. We got a rat.
Great.
Yeah, great. But taking the time to not get that rat, to watch the rat, to observe the rat, to see it go back to its hole, and then understand, that there's 30 other rats in there. Next time we can sit there and stand at the hole and just grab the rat out of there, with it being a lot more efficient. And that's why I love TARTLE, because you guys are basically, you're not just observing, you're being proactive in the sense of asking.
Yes.
The direct to the consumer.
Yeah. Because if you can take 50% of the picture, which is the effect,
right,
and also the missing 50%, which was the cause.
Right.
Now we have a very balanced, efficient, truthful perspective on what is actually occurring. So I want to give an example of this because I just got off the phone today with a CEO that specializes in medical analytics, analyzing data.
Right.
And after I understood it, I realized that what they had created was not really analyzing medical data, but analyzing costs, okay, reactively, and then pairing that against medical codes to see how maybe some medical codes after someone's been sick, how that's going to affect the cost on a hospital or a healthcare system, the payee. And then from that, the hospital or the network decides, oh, we have a high quality of care. Hold on. And then I was like, hold on a second. How are you determining a high quality of care against your own benchmark if you are not going and directly getting data from the people that feed your system that allow it to operate? And that's people being sick. You never once asked them what was going on or their proactive feedback or what even got them to that point to come into your hospital, your business.
Right.
But you're saying that we've increased quality of care because we have a cost savings and less people are coming in. And I told her, I was like, well, what if you've scared people? What if you screwed up so many surgeries, they don't want to come through the door? So your emergency room has less people.
Well, this is a perfect example. I mean, with COVID, I mean, people can get hit by a bus, and then because they have COVID, they're getting labeled COVID.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, as we see with the flu's down since the 1950s.
Yep.
We're at levels because everybody's labeling it as COVID instead of, labeling it a flu. So now you're playing. Now, this is the part that I hate about, especially when you look at statisticians and
tell
data,
me how you really feel
and data analysis, and there's, how you can spell analysis, right? A-N. So this is the part that really pisses me off, Alex, because now we're going to go off on a marketing tangent. We're going to go off on creating a new vision. We're going to build a new wing of the hospital. We're going to look at this and say, "Oh my God, look, we're at 86 and we're going to tout this to everyone."
And that's what they do.
And it's basically you just built false data. It's a house of cards.
That is precisely correct. And this is exactly what I was explaining on the phone. I was like, I understand what you're doing in your business, but you are analyzing an untruthful picture.
Well, here's what. So you want to take ruthlessness?
Yeah.
I would use his company to find out what my most profit is per code.
Yeah.
And then I would only want to treat those people.
I'm just going to treat them.
Yeah. So, okay. Chemotherapy is the most profitable for me. Perfect. Let's build a huge wing.
Yeah. Or I'll be like, which one's most profitable, but has the highest outcome of cure?
Yes.
I'm just going to focus on
risk.
those.
Let's go. Then you're cost and risk.
Cost and risk. You're going to come out and be like, we're the greatest hospital around.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
What about all the people you rejected? You never once did you actually go to the cause of why you exist.
100%.
And I explained that. I was like, that's where the truth is missing in this picture. That is a large, and that aspect of healthcare and healthcare data is one of many, many different problems we currently have with using data illogically.
Well, and then, I mean, look what's happening now. We have the census going on.
Yeah.
So the government's trying to say, okay, let's go to the person.
Keyword trying.
Yeah, trying to go to the person. But now you have this distrust in government. So what type of data are you getting when you have distrust?
Angry.
Yeah.
Or none at all.
Are false data because they're purposely, you will have people that will purposely give false information because they do not trust you. So you have to, anytime you want to market something, anytime you ask of something to somebody, you have to give first. There has to be giving, and then through that giving, there's trust.
That is the incentive,
and that creates the effect.
Yes,
but it creates an honest effect that gives you honest, true data.
Right, and I hope that is so on the money. You've been very precise, and on the other episode, you said Jason Rigby and precise don't match up.
Yeah,
they do.
You
do. It's excellent, and I, in the future, hope that actually I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen that there will be a future of perfect information transfer. That's what we're gonna do.
PIT.
Yeah, we're gonna re-educate, train the world, and show them how to truthfully share information so we can actually understand cause and effect and we can evolve properly.
Well, the only thing that we have that is of value that corporate identities are looking at, because they are an identity, the Supreme Court ruled that, so that they're like a person, these big conglomerates with billions of dollars. The only thing that they look as a human as having value now, and it's only going to get worse when we go 10, 15, 20 years out, is our data.
Yeah.
And when you really think about it, and we've had tons of episodes on that. So whenever, not just giving giving data for free, we're doing that. We've talked about that 100,000 times. But Alex, the part that gets me more than anything is, why can't we give our data to something that we completely trust? And if TARTLE has the ability to create trust, which it will, because your heart is right and every person that you're bringing on board with the company is right.
Don't make me tear up on air, dude.
No, you're from back east. Yeah. You guys don't tear up.
I'm stoic.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, when you think about it, when people actually see that, it's going to be an easily transferred. You're going to get data that is going to be accurate and perfect. Yeah. Because they're going to be able to, when we ask a question, when we send a survey, when we send an email out, whatever it may be, and however we interact with them, they're going to say, I know that company's doing good in the world.
Correct.
I will answer this honestly. And that will give us data that no other company can get.
That's the important part. And I want to always remind all of the businesses that come in and purchase this information that there is a person behind it.
Yes.
This is not like the IRS where we're all just a damn number. Okay. There's an actual living, breathing human being trying to make their life happen. And that's how they should be respected and treated as so. And that's how we have the transaction.
No, I love that. Yeah. We have to have true cause and effect.
True cause and effect. It just seems like the most logical thing.
Stop with the effects. The CGI. We don't need any CGI data.
I'm not worried about the CGI data.
CGI reports.
Yeah.
How many fake CGI reports, data reports do we get?
Ew. I feel nasty just saying that.
Yeah. Ugh.
Just wrecked my aura. All right, cool deal. Listen, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.